Midnight Rescue. Does anyone remember this little educational gem from 1989 or the 1995 re-release? This PC educational game for kids aged 9 to 12 gave me nightmares as a kid, and I've never forgotten about it until this very day. To put this part of my life to rest, and because I honestly have nothing better to do, let's take a look at it. The game lets you play as the Super Solver, basically the invisible man with the strangest outfit I've ever seen. I think those are the ugliest shorts I've ever had the displeasure of seeing. Embarrassing lower wear aside, you've been called to Shady Glen Elementary School at night to stop Morty Maxwell, the Master of Mischief. Say that 5 times fast. Yes, this is the bad guy, an evil magician scientist guy who plans to erase the school at the stroke of midnight. He looks like Dr. Wily, and you gotta find him.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question.
So how do you find and stop him? You have to find out his disguise, and this leads us into the gameplay. I like to think of Midnight Rescue as a mix of Clock Tower, Fatal Frame, and Reader Rabbit. Don't give me that look, give me time, give me time. Your job is to explore the 2 floors of the abandoned school, searching the rooms, looking for clues. Along the way, you're constantly being attacked by Morty's robots, and there are 2 things to remember about them. 1, they are omnipresent. I swear, these mechanical motherfuckers can be freaking anywhere. I'm walking down the hall with that strange, bouncy walk pattern and having a good time when, BAM! The robot appears out of nowhere and attacks you. Like, what the hell is that? And don't think the rooms are safe either, because when you get in sometimes, shit! They're waiting for you. It's terrifying. Well, it's a video game, right? So you have to have some way of defending yourself, right? Guns? A sword? Arnold Schwarzenegger? Say cheese!
I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi.
The only other option? Run like a bitch. But you can't even do that because it's actually necessary to get all of the pictures in order to win the game. Are you kidding me? And to top it all off, your flash has a pretty limited range, so you can only take so many pictures while the enemies can constantly reappear. And getting hit means that you only get a minor time penalty, but more on that in a sec. Basically, you're rushing to finish the game, and once you find said clues, you have to do some reading comprehension. Woo-hoo. If you answer a question successfully, you get a clue. And if you answer wrong, you die! No, you just get a second chance and some hints. Once you collect enough clues and you've taken enough pictures of each robot, the picture allows you to see invisible things about the robots. And the robot with the features described by the clues is Morty. When you think you've solved the mystery, you can confront the robot. If you're wrong, the game ends and you and the school disappear forever. Oh man! But if you're right, then you get to see this little Michael Jackson dance. Oh, there's one little thing I forgot to mention. You have until the stroke of midnight before the game is over. That's right, you have a strict time limit. Just think about playing this game as a kid. You play as a creepy looking protagonist whose face you can't even see. You have to explore an abandoned school in the middle of the night. There are completely omnipresent robots that can pop the hell out of nowhere when they feel like it. You have nothing but photographs to defend yourself. You have to do reading comprehension. One mistake could be game over, and you have a time limit. Okay, that's from a kid's perspective, but playing this game as an adult is obviously a lot easier. The time limit is reasonable, and it pauses when you have to do readings or deduce from the clues. Furthermore, the game can be beaten in 10 minutes, and it only starts to get difficult really later on. To be honest, this is actually a pretty good game for the time, and an educational game that actually manages to be fun. Nevertheless, this is still an early PC game, meaning there's a lot of weird shit I want to point out, so let's talk about it. First, Morty spends the game trolling you, and pisses me off when I spend time doing a problem only for him to tell me I already have the clue. A lot of the articles you read actually talk about Morty's troubled childhood, as a student at the same school, and this was pretty interesting. It also makes you understand this psycho better, which is necessary because he leaves some pretty weird messages, like this one that's about his breakups?
Telling you we are never, ever, ever getting back together.
Although the school is pretty well designed, the game also randomly changes up the rooms, and there's also some weird things about them, like why is the auditorium the same size as a regular classroom? And here, why the hell doesn't the school principal have a desk? What? Does the most important man in the school sit on the frickin' carpet? How about these? Do you remember those giant free film dispensers? Yeah, they were in every school. Oh, how could you miss them? And how the hell did that shitty guitar picture get an A+? Are you kidding me? The articles that you have to read actually aren't that bad, but they repeat really quickly, even if the questions change. Some are actually from pretty famous works, but then you have articles like this. Sweet soccer win. Or this one about soccer too. Why does this game have such a hard-on for soccer? Did frickin' Mark from Inazuma 11 write this shit? How about this article? Let's see. Wait a second. Kickapoo?
A long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo.
The game also just has a bunch of more weird shit, like how walking into the walls makes you fall like an idiot. Like, why does that need to happen? Another weird thing is that the music resets every time you jump. It is so annoying. Speaking of the music, the game only has a couple of songs, which in themselves are just renditions of classical pieces, like In the Hall of the Mountain King and The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And because that shit, you probably noticed that I'm playing mostly my own music throughout this review. The graphics in the game are actually pretty good as well for the time, as you can generally tell what everything is. Most of the time. In conclusion, Midnight Rescue is actually a pretty damn good game for the time, and one of the few times where an educational game actually managed to keep me hooked for at least a little while. I know it's pretty well useless to talk about the game this old and for gamers this young, but the game is available on the internet in case you want to try it out. Despite scaring the hell out of me, and probably others as a kid, it's good to put this one behind us once and for all. Besides, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you get a good education, right? This cost you time on the clock. A spelling mistake in an educational game about reading? Come on!